Can you afford to pay back student loans on the average dentist's salary in America these days? So the typical associate dentist is going to make about $120,000 to $150,000 out of school, probably more closer to the 120 mark, especially in places that have a lot of dentists that are really saturated in the country. Now, the typical debt can be over $300,000. So your typical dentist could technically afford to pay that back in 10 years, but they'd have 40% of their income going towards debt, and that's not sustainable if you want to do things like buy a house, start a family, and start a practice. For that reason, if you owe something in the low 200,000 debt level and you make a pretty solid associate income, then you could consider going ahead and refinancing to a 20-year term, and that won't affect too many of your things like buying a house and buying a practice and getting started in life if you do eventually want to pay off your debt in full. If you owe more than that, I would be very cautious, because banks for both mortgages and practice loans will look at whatever your required payment is on your student loans to determine whether or not you qualify for mortgages and practice loans. In other words, if your repay payment is $1,000 a month and that's all on your $400,000 student loan, that will actually not inhibit you from getting a practice loan as long as you have no credit card debt and at least $10,000 to $50,000 in the bank, basically whatever 3% of the practice purchase price is in liquid assets. So as long as you have that liquidity requirement and you have good production where they can look and see that you've had a similar production level to what you want to borrow, then they'll approve you. Even if you have even if you have $600,000 in student loans, they'll approve you. It's all about what the required payment is. So keep that in mind. If you're making an average dentist salary and you want to do these things like ownership and start a family, which are very important for your lifetime goals, you just want to make sure you're not losing the forest for the trees and don't put having minimized student loan interest ahead of these other things in life that are actually a lot more important. We've advised more dentists than anybody else in the country on their student loan plan. If you want a custom plan that's going to address your specific situation and your goals after dental school, you should book us for a custom student loan plan. Check out studentloanplanner.com/help to learn more about that service, and let us know in the comments below if you think it's really possible today to pay back the average dental school debt with the average dental associate income right out of school.